Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another session of Acura new features in the 5.2 releases. What I'm going to focus on today is an exciting new feature which is the EasyPost carrier integration. So what is carrier integration? Well, what we mean by that is the ability to obtain a live price and to book your shipment with your chosen carrier using your chosen service, to then obtain and print your own barcoded labels which are carrier approved, and then furthermore to be able to track that shipment all from within the Acura database, all without needing to go and use another console anywhere else in the building, or have to retype the address or the weight or the number of boxes and those kinds of things. So what we've done to provide this to you is we've partnered with a company called EasyPost. Now what makes EasyPost different is they offer multi-carrier support in multi-countries. So being an international company as we are, that's very interesting to us. So if we were to, for example, write an interface to FedEx, we would do that once and that would be it, job done. We'd then have to go through that same process again with UPS. We would have to go through that same process again in every other country with every other major carrier that we wish to partner with. What the EasyPost service gives us is the ability to program just one set of API calls and access multiple carriers in multiple countries. So you can find out more about EasyPost on their website here, easypost.com. So it just highlights some of the features. If we just go into the products page, it talks about production of shipping labels, tracking, insurance, right down to address verification, and also international and customs. So if I click on the carriers tab, you'll see all of the carriers that EasyPost support. So obviously you've got the big American carriers, United States Postal Service, UPS, FedEx, DHL. You've also got some regional ones. You've also got some European ones in here, as well as Australia, Canada, the UK, and so on. So quite a range of different carriers that we can now offer through the one interface. So what's the cost of this? Well, quite simply, there are no monthly subscriptions. There are no contracts. You can start and cancel at any time, and all you pay is 1 cent per package. So you can make any number of rating inquiries that you wish. You'll only pay when you download the labels and book your shipment. So if you're booking 100 boxes a day, then obviously you're going to pay 100 times 1 cent. If you're booking 10 boxes a day, then you're going to pay 10 times 1 cent. So that is billed directly by EasyPost. It doesn't come through us whatsoever. You have your own account with them and you pay for that using a credit card. Okay, so if you want to sign up for EasyPost, there is a special URL you should use, which is this one here. EasyPost, sign up with the UTM source Acura MIS. What that does is it associates your account with us, and that will help to track the number of subscribers that are using Acura with EasyPost, and it will put us in a better position to negotiate better rates for you or provide new carrier services that aren't currently available. So it's really important that you do use that sign up link. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So I've already signed up with my email address. I have a test account. It's totally free to sign up. Even if you never ever end up using it, it's totally free. Once you sign up, you have your own portal, and within that we can do various things. But the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the API keys page. And the way EasyPost identifies you is through a unique API key. So that's totally unique to you. We don't know what it is. We can't issue you with it. You need to sign up yourselves and get your own key. It will give you two keys, a production key and a test key. Now what we would suggest to start with is that you start out using the test key. Now what that will do is it will still give you access to the carriers, but it won't actually live book the shipment, so you won't have a carrier driver turning up at your doorstep ready to pick up those parcels. Okay, so once it generates that key, if you click on this little icon here to copy the key to your clipboard, then all you simply do is go into Acura, go to setup defaults, come down to the shipping area, turn on EasyPost using this provider link here, and paste your key directly into this field, and then save that with the OK button. That will store your unique key in your system for everybody on your network to use. So this is a network-wide setting. You only have to do it once. Okay, now the other thing you're going to want to do in your EasyPost account is you're going to want to set up your carriers. Now to start with, if you're using a test key, it will simply give you one dummy carrier. So it will give you I think it gives you US Postal Service or UPS, just for you to play around with. But if you start adding your own carriers here, then you are adding live account details. So these are your account details that you already hold with FedEx and UPS. So if you want to add, say, FedEx, you come down the list, click on FedEx, and then it will prompt you for information about your account with FedEx. All of this information you should already have, and you just need to fill in the fields and it will create the account for you. Now the beauty of that also is that you've already negotiated rates with your chosen carrier, and those rates will be what EasyPost returns to you. So don't think just because you're going through EasyPost you're going to pay more, or you're going to be disadvantaged in any way, or it's going to muck up the billing procedure. Don't worry about that, because all of that is taken care of. It will be using your rates that you've agreed. So you will actually get two bills. You'll continue to get your normal carrier invoice every month, but you'll also get a charge to your credit card or directly to your bank account from EasyPost for the 1 cent per label that I talked about a few moments ago. So you set up your billing details here in this drop down, and this is where you would be able to see your running balance, and you would be able to link your credit card or your bank account to that. So you can have a primary payment method and a backup payment method, just in case, let's say, the credit card was on a security alert or something, and you still needed the carrier service to be responded to. Okay, so that's really all you need to do. EasyPost themselves provide various other features in the portal, reports and copies of the invoice and all of those things for your accounting and reporting needs, so that's not an issue. So let's have a look at how we use this in Acura. So I imagine right now you're already using carriers, and you've got some kind of terminal or console in the building, and you have to walk across to that terminal. You have to log in. You then have to type in the customer's information and the address, number of boxes, box size, weight, and so on, and then make your booking. Or you may do it by email, or you may do it by telephone or in some other way. All of those methods have built-in delay. So they have room for error and they have room for delay because you've got to fumble around for the information. And if you think about it, all of that information is already known to the MIS. So why should you need to re-enter that information into another system and perhaps risk getting the weight wrong or the dimensions wrong or even the address completely wrong. And if it's a new address, then you're going to have to rekey it in from scratch. You know, it's not already going to be in the FedEx database and so on. Okay, so all we do in Acura is we start out with our job, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the normal delivery note procedure in Acura. So I'm going to filter by active jobs, and let's just say I want to deliver this job here, so I would come up to the little van at the top, and that will raise my delivery note. Okay, so I'm just going to choose my delivery location, and you can see here it's pulled in my job details and the quantity. It's pulled in the packing quantity, number of boxes, weight, etc. All of that is standard information that's already in Acura. So I'm just going to say, actually I'm going to pack this in 250, so it's going to calculate 2 boxes, and there we go. So I'm now ready to book my carrier, so I click on the carrier tab. Now if you've already used EasyPost, then you will have here a drop list of carriers that have already been downloaded, and likewise services that are available to you for that carrier. So if you actually knew which service you wanted to use, you can just select it here, click get rates, and it will actually book that service here and now for you. But let's say you didn't, you wanted to get some prices and then decide. So I'm just going to reset those values using this button here. Now what I actually wanted to do is do a bit of a price comparison. So what if I had an account with 3 different carriers and I didn't know whether I wanted to use a next day or a 2-day or a 3-day service? I can click on get rates, and that will dial out to EasyPost and return to me the available carriers and services for the package that I'm choosing to deliver. So here we have 2 boxes, a total weight of 3.64, and it's returned 6 different carrier options, and they are already sorted into price order. So we can see in this case that Parcel Force Express 48 is the cheapest, and the 24-hour is another £14. Okay, so I might decide that, you know, we've overrun on the job, we're running a little bit late, and to do the guy a favor, we're going to deliver it on a next day service. So I would just simply choose that, come down to here and press the booking option. Now there's various other things I could do just before I do that. If I wanted to just say just show me next day services, it will filter the list down. Just show me 3-day services, of which there aren't any, or 2-day services, and so on. So various different options here. I can also go into settings and change the collection address, and so on. Put in a contact and a phone number is quite useful for the carrier as well. I can also use address validation. Now what this does is it goes off to EasyPost and uses a national database of addresses, and it verifies that the address you've put in is actually a valid one, and the courier is not going to have a problem making the delivery. Now if you click that button and it finds there are errors, it will show you on screen the errors, and it will offer to correct the address not only for this one delivery, but it will go back to your Acura database and it will correct the address in the database. So that's a very useful feature for cleaning up your data. Now that address validation is a free service throughout North America, but there is a charge for it in other countries. Okay, so let's just say I'm going to go with the 24-hour, and I'm going to click on book, It says, are you sure you want to do this? So yes, I do. Now what this is doing now is it's dialing out to EasyPost. EasyPost is passing this downstream, in this case to Parcelforce, and it's actually attempting to make the booking with the Parcelforce servers. I haven't had to do anything else. I haven't had to leave the software or re-enter any information. So it's now made that booking and returned a reference to me, and it says you're now ready to do your labels, so I'll say yes. So what it will do is it will start downloading the labels and save them to PDF and open them up for you. So you can see here I've actually got two labels, page 1, page 2. The label is a carrier approved branded label. We have no control over what is on this label. This has been verified by Parcelforce as an approved label. So it'll be different with your couriers to this one. All these barcodes are automatically generated, the address is populated, and so on. And depending on the service that you're using, you will be able to use things like sender's ref. That will be populated automatically. It just so happens that with Parcelforce they don't have the ability to populate that field, but we are sending the data. It's just up to the specific carrier whether they support it. So that's now booked, and I can close this down. Now what it's done as well is it's automatically saved that information to my delivery note, so that is now going to be stored permanently in the Acura database. Furthermore, what it's done is it's put the delivery cost, the actual live delivery cost, in here, so that using these options here I can first of all add that delivery cost as a cost entry on the job, so it's accumulated into the cost of the job and therefore affects the profit and so on. And optionally I could add this delivery charge to the invoice as a line item. So you may or may not want to do that depending on whether your price already includes the delivery or doesn't include the delivery. So it's a very useful feature because you don't have to do anything else, and whoever's doing the invoice will just select the job number in the normal way, and it will pull through the delivery charge of £47.06 as a line item. Okay, now something to bear in mind with this: if you're working with the test API key, you will not see all the carriers. You will just see 1 or 2 carriers. That's just because it's a test environment, and only when you move to the production key will you actually see all of your chosen carriers. Okay, we can of course reprint the labels at any time, so they're saved on disk as PDFs, and you can access those at any time. So that's job done there, and we've saved that delivery note, and obviously in the usual course of events we would print that delivery note and we would print our own packing labels to go on the boxes. So that's an automatic standard feature of Acura anyway, as is the ability for you to send an SMS to your customers saying, we thought you'd like to know your job's now been dispatched, or send them an email, or send them both if you want. So that's a standard feature of Acura as well. You just need to set up your SMS provider in the defaults in the program. So that's a much overlooked feature, that one, but it does make you look pretty slick when your customer starts to get text messages to say his print job has now left the factory. So bear that in mind. Now one last thing to show you on this. We have a delivery notes browse, as you probably know already, and this job is at the top of the list that I've just done. Again, here I have options to reprint the labels, but I have another quite sweet option, which is the tracking. So if your customer phones up and says, hey, I got your email, says the job's left the factory, that was 2 days ago and I still haven't seen it, where is it? You can click on the tracking and this will open up a browser window. Again, we haven't left Acura, this is all within the Acura program, and this will live track that delivery for you. So you can see here the label was created, it was picked up, by the local driver, sent to the sorting warehouse, distribution center, out for delivery, and so on. Now what we're looking at here is a complete dummy because we're using a test API key, so no one has collected the parcel and no one is ever going to collect the parcel. So this is just a made up sequence to show you how the tracking data will look. So hopefully you'll agree that's going to be an extremely useful feature for everybody, and we would encourage you to sign up and have a go at it. As I said, 1 cent per label, that's all it's going to cost, and that is really a small price when you consider how much time and effort and potential for errors that you're going to save over time. So thank you for watching, and have a good day.